Good day everyone! Right now we're gonna start our fifth project, which is habitat. Hope you enjoy it! First, what is habitat? Habitat is a combination of resources, physical and biotic factors in an area to support life cycle of a particular species. As you can see on the right picture, there are polar ice, savanna, mountain, hot desert, tundra, Mediterranean, and etc. So where can you find habitat? It could be anywhere, including your own body, as long as it supports the species to grow and reproduce. The role of habitat is to provide source of food to be consumed and shelter to live, and to provide common place to select mates and successfully reproduce. Now, let's start with the example of habitat. The first example is polar habitat. Polar habitats cover the top and bottom of planet Earth at the north and south poles. The north pole is surrounded by the Arctic Ocean. You can see that in this picture, the land is covered by snow. This habitat is the desert habitat. Desert habitat is an extremely dry area of land with sparse vegetation. It is one of Earth's major types of ecosystem, supporting a community of distinctive plants and animals specially adapted to the harsh environment. Opposite to polar habitat, desert habitat is covered by sun. Is the endangered of habitat 100% human fault? As you know from the last video, Project 4, most of the harm were done by human hands, but not 100% of the fault is in human hands, because the environmental condition also take a part of it. So, how do we prevent and or protect them? We can prevent and or protect them by reducing the use of motor vehicle, reduce greenhouse gases, properly dispose industrial waste, plant more plants or reforestation, and recycle garbage.
So, why we should preserve these natural habitats? The first reason is to protect the wildlife itself. Preserving habitats could protect endangered animals from extinction, and in addition, it also means to protect the biodiversity of species from being endangered as well. And lastly, the wildlife cannot live without their natural habitats because certain habitats are too crucial for the species, therefore it needs to be protected. The second reason is to protect our planet. Human activities such as the use of fossil fuels and destruction of natural habitats has caused the climate change that affects all living things on Earth. Natural habitats, aside protect the wildlife, also acts as deterrents to global warming. Our forests play an essential role in which it regulates water flows, absorb greenhouse gases, and protect coastal communities. Moreover, our sea, especially the phytoplankton in the sea, generates up to 70% of oxygen in the atmosphere, which we need to breathe. From the beginning, the natural habitats have acted as a natural reservoir of various things that humans need to survive. Our third and last reason is to protect us, humans as well. Wild habitats act as barriers, preventing diseases to transmit from animal to humans. Remember COVID-19? That happened because the barrier between human communities and the wildlife of animals is broken through. Some medicine that we use, especially the old medicine, are also found in plants or animals, from which those plants and animals sometimes need their habitat to be preserved to thrive. There are also research to find new drugs from unknown species in habitats too. So, is there any ethical issue in our habitat similar to the ecosystem? Surely there is an ethical issue that exists in our habitat. Although we barely notice and it's a bit difficult to see the evidence of any ethical issue in our habitat with the naked eye, it is a must for us as human beings to be morally understanding about the issues in our surroundings. The ethical issue in our habitat is likely to be similar to the issue in the ecosystem that was previously mentioned in our previous project. Although we cannot see the issue directly, the rapid increase in population will lead to habitat destruction. People will occupy the land to build more houses or buildings, which can result in more demands for resources for living. The more demand for resources, the available resources on Earth will not be able to fulfill the requirement for that human needs. Therefore, this affects the surrounding biodiversity and also the living things in that habitat, which may affect negatively their quality of life and perhaps result in biodiversity loss and species extinction. Without knowing, natural habitats provide benefits and safety too, not just for humans, but all living things on Earth in various ways. Even though we might live far from the natural habitats, it is our duty to keep the preservation of habitats going. That's the end of our presentation. Hopefully, this brings more information to you and see you in the next project.